comment,
and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Podcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, we got quite a bit of Funko Pop announcements to discuss about. There won't be a What's the Hap segment because we have a lot to talk about. And also during this podcast, as seen in the title of it, it is going to be our top 10 Funko Pops of August 2021 list, which we know that as of this podcast recording, we haven't finished August 2021 yet. But of course, we have the update segment that will be on next week's podcast, which, funny enough, after that podcast will be our fandom related podcast on Crash Bandicoot. So an exciting 2 weeks to come as terms of the podcast after this one, which without further ado, we might as well kick off with the first set of Funko Pop announcements for this podcast, which range from August 16th up until August 19th, which kicking off, we have a brand new wave of the Office Pops, which we have some already announced Pops, but we're just talking about the new Pops that were announced during the set. So we got ourselves common Pops of Aaron Hannon with the Happy Box and Champagne, Michael Scott on crutches, Pam Beasley with Teapot, and then a Funko Shop exclusive Young Michael Scott, which these are expected to release as early as October 2021. Announced on that same day on August 16th, Funko had announced a AAA anime exclusive Flynn Rider from Tangled, in which this is expected to release as early as November 2021. Then on August 17th, Funko had announced a Artist Series 6-pack of the Infinity Saga of Avengers characters, which we have ourselves Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Hulk, and Iron Man, which this is going to be an Amazon exclusive, and this is expected to release as early as October 2021. On that same day, Funko had announced on the Funko Shop website a new pop for the Dune lineup with the release of the Dune Pops, which we have Chani, in which that is available now on the Funko Shop website. Then on August 18th, Funko had announced a new wave of breast cancer awareness pops, but this is for the DC Bombshells lineup, which we got ourselves common pops of Wonder Woman, Supergirl, Catwoman, and Harley Quinn, with exclusive pops of Hawk Girl, which would be going to Target, and Batwoman, which would be going to the Funko Shop. And these are expected to release as early as October 2021. On that same day, Funko continued to announce Funko Pops that are part of their new program called Pops with Purpose, which the breast cancer awareness Pops are technically a part of that also, which we got ourselves SpongeBob SquarePants with Net, Spock on Chair, and Yara Floor. All of these are expected to release as early as October 2021. On August 19th, Funko Europe had announced their own exclusive pop of a Terranet Ninja from Terranet Ninja 2, in which this is unknown of when this is releasing, but this will be exclusive to Denmark only. And last but not least, for this day, Marvel had announced the newest wave of Marvel Blacklight Pops, which we got ourselves 10-inch Gladiator Hulk from Ragnarok, a Captain Marvel from, of course, Captain Marvel, a Thanos and Ant-Man from Avengers Endgame, and then Black Panther, which will be a part of a Pop and Tea bundle, in which these were available for pre-order and has since sold out on the website for pre-orders. So kicking off with the new wave of the Office Pops, which is cool that we got to see like kind of the re-announcements to see how the glam shots are now, because when those were originally announced for Funko Ween, we only got concept arts and now we got glam shots. So we get to see how better looking these characters look, which is pretty cool, but I'm not going to get into those. I'll get into the newer characters, which finally we have an Aaron Hannon pop. I enjoyed the character of Aaron throughout the later seasons of The Office, and it's cool that she's got a pop. Michael on crutches is awesome because if I'm not mistaken, this is in the episode where Michael burns his foot on the George Foreman grill and now he's on crutches, and it's not even an actual leg brace. I'm pretty sure I remember in that episode, it was just a bunch of ice packs wrapped around with like tape or something, or bubble wrap perhaps. And it's a very funny scene. And this is one of those pops that you didn't think you wanted, but now you kind of want. Pam Beasley with the teapot, which It's very surprising that we've gotten now 2 variants of Oscar, which was already announced at Funkoween, but to get a second Oscar before we got a second Pam is really weird to me. But this is a great Pam pop, even though it kind of looks like the original Pam pop with her normal like pink outfit. This is for the scene of the whole, I guess, Secret Santa episode where everybody trades everything. And then we got ourselves young Michael Scott, Funko Shop exclusive. This is a great idea for a pop. This is one of those Michael Scott variants I never would have thought of off the top of my head. And this is really cool. I did mention we did a video, I think it was last Tuesday, I believe, of the Office set with the mystery minis, or not mystery minis, sorry, mini moments. I like this pop, but I wish they did it like the box of the Kramer, where it goes with the photo that this is based off of, where he's shaking the hand of the old Dunder Mifflin boss, because of course he's getting promoted as the regional manager of Dunder Mifflin. And Michael Scott had super long hair at that point with that blue fanny pack. Flynn Rider. This is actually pretty decent. I know a lot of people for so long have actually wanted a Flynn Rider pop for the Tangled lineup. And now we finally get it. And also to add to that, it's very cool that this pop has a purple and yellow triple anime exclusive or triple A anime exclusive sticker, which you can also see for further proof on either like an Entertainment Earth or the Funko app that's shown. Really cool, pretty detailed for just, I guess, a human animated character. It's even got the sign of wanted dead or alive. Really awesome. And I know a lot of people are going to want to get this pop. The Artist Series 6-pack of the Infinity Saga exclusive to Amazon. What to say about this? I mean, I understand whoever made this concept is coming from, because it's matching all of the 6 colors of the Infinity Stone, but how is this art? Literally it's just one single color and you add like sparkles to it, and it's not even Diamond Collection. Like, some of the colors make sense. Of course, Hulk had to be green and Captain America had to be blue. And I understand maybe Iron Man was yellow, because what colors would they use for Black Widow? I'm sure that there's going to be people out there that are going to want this, but this is not my thing. And I don't know whether to say this is or this isn't the worst Artist Series pop that has been made so far. And a lot of the Artist Series have been pretty bad so far. Then we have the character from Dune. This is okay. Not too bad for something I don't really know about. I seen the original Dune movie and I hated it, so I don't think I'm going to plan on seeing the newer one, which this is based off of. Then we have the breast cancer awareness pops. These are pretty cool. And I know there was a lot of people that weren't liking the fact, like, oh, where's like, I don't know, like a cyborg or some sort of DC character that aren't the DC bombshells. But I like the selection of pops that they chose for this, for the fact that these are all women characters. The fact that breast cancer, obviously it happens with women. So I think it definitely makes sense to have pops of women characters be represented for these breast cancer awareness pops. And I think all these pops have somewhat of like an equal hype. Then we have SpongeBob with net. Pretty cool. I actually didn't even realize that we still haven't gotten a SpongeBob with net. I thought we would already gotten a pop of SpongeBob with the net, but this is actually the first one, and it's pretty cool. I remember the episodes of SpongeBob where essentially he is trying to catch the jellyfish with the net. The only gripe I have about this, and it's also going to be a gripe with MD when he wants to get this for sure, is that this pop will indeed be in a sideways box, which is going to screw up with the collection, because I think all the other SpongeBob pops are tilted the way that they should be for a 4-inch pop, and this one is going to be sideways. Spock on chair is pretty decent also. Of course, I can only imagine people will want to get this to go with their Captain Kirk with the chair that just released for the Star Trek original series. And then I have no idea who this character is for Wonder Woman, but of course, I'm not surprised they made this pop, because this year is Wonder Woman's 80th anniversary and they're making a huge wave. So they might as well pump up more just for 2021. Then we have Turnet Ninja, which I had to do a little bit of research. And in English, that means checkered ninja. I know it's like a movie, and of course there's a second one that this is based off of, and I can't remember exactly the plot. I remember reading it, but it seemed pretty interesting. It's cool that this is like exclusive to essentially Denmark or Funko Europe, because I feel like only that part of the world would have some sort of fan base towards this movie. Then we have the Blacklight Pops. 10-inch Gladiator Hulk, which is the first one I'm going to talk about, is probably my favorite because I feel like the colors that are involved with this blacklight pop will actually look so nice, especially with the green that already looks excellent when it's glow in the dark. So to add it as a blacklight would be cool. And blue and purple have already proven to be great colors. Blacklight also. Captain Marvel, I think it'll look pretty decent. Thanos, I think will look excellent. And I'm curious to see if that yellow will kind of turn green because we've seen in the past with glow in the dark pops and possibly some other black light pops where when you put a black light on yellow, it kind of makes a greeny, tinchy color. So I think it will look excellent in this case also. Ant-Man, this one looks okay. And we got the black light Black Panther with the t-shirt. I'm kind of curious to know what the box looks like because they never showed off the box yet, but the t-shirt looks excellent. And of course, I think that those purples are going to blend very nicely with the black as terms to this black light pop.
This new wave from The Office is really cool. I mean, there's a lot of great characters in here. I guess we'll start off with Erin first. And yeah, it's great that we now have a pop of her. I think it's about time because she's kind of an underrated character, in my opinion. And I think overall that pop looks pretty decent. The Michael on the crutches is hilarious. It's a great idea for a pop. That was definitely really funny. That scene in The Office where people are kind of like, how the hell do you burn your foot on a George Foreman grill? And yeah, like you said, it's a pop that you wouldn't really think of that you needed. But once you see it, it's like, yeah, this would go pretty great in an Office collection. Young Michael is the exact same way. I mean, that's hilarious. And your idea of having it kind of one of those pops where it has a background photo like the Kramer is just an excellent idea. And that should have been done, but it doesn't really take away from this pop being still hilarious. And then we have Pam, and I really enjoy this pop. I think that having the teapot just makes a lot of sense, and it's so significant to her character, obviously, with Jim. And I think it's a lot better than the original wave of The Office, that Pam Beasley. Next, we have Flynn Rider, and I'm surprised that there hasn't been a pop of him because I just felt like there was, but I guess that's just because he's like a main character in the movie, and I just would have assumed that there was. But this pop is also pretty great. I mean, it looks good, and the wanted dead or alive sign is hilarious. I love how it's popified, obviously, because why would they miss the chance of making something popified on a pop? And just the sketch of him is hilarious. I love how the nose is kind of big because from what I remember, he did have quite a large nose, which it's kind of surprising they didn't do anything with that on the actual pop itself, but it doesn't really take away from it because it looks great. Then this Amazon exclusive 6-pack for the Infinity Saga art series. Oh, God. You know, this isn't terrible if it wasn't art series. This is just, I feel like we've seen pops like this before where it's a clearish pop with kind of the speckles in it. It's just weird. And I get it. Like you could technically use yellow for Iron Man, but why not just make them red and just make Black Widow yellow or make Hawkeye yellow and then make Black Widow orange? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Like I think it could have been just a little bit better because it's already so trash that the slightest thing could make it just a little bit better. Then we have the character from Dune, and overall this pop is pretty cool looking. I like how you kind of have the effect of some wind flapping around with the hair and what I could assume is a cape, I guess, on the back. The eyes being blue is pretty neat. I have two gripes about this pop, and it's why are we still getting Dune pops? That's one. And the second one is if you look at the art on the front of the box, the way that that kind of breathing apparatus, as I'm going to call it, because I'm not sure exactly what it is, it just looks weird. And then we have the DC bombshells for the breast cancer, and these are awesome. I really enjoyed the DC bombshells when it first came out. That was right around when I was probably about a year into collecting, I would assume, at that point, Funko. And the breast cancer ones are just as good, if not better than those original ones. I really enjoy these. I might pick up a couple of them, maybe just one or two. I haven't really decided which one I like the best, though, because they're all pretty great in their own way. And then we have the SpongeBob with the net, and this is cool, but I also have a couple flaws with it. And the first flaw, obviously, is yes, the sideways box. When I seen a picture of the sideways box, I was like, oh God, really? Funko needs to figure something out where we don't need sideways boxes anymore, whether it be, let's say, what they did with the gelatinous cube, where the box is bigger but it could still fit on your shelf next to the pops because the width, I guess would be what I'm looking for, is the same size as a normal 4-inch pop box. So I don't know. I just hate the sideways boxes so much. I hate collecting them, but sometimes I have to. Let's say with like the Fry Kids from the ad icons with McDonald's, it's just something I needed to get, even though I really hate those boxes. And it's going to be the same thing with this. And then the second thing that I have a flaw about is I think he should have had his glasses on. I just feel like he always wore his glasses when he was jellyfish fishing or hunting, whatever it's called. I just think that should have happened, but it didn't. And I think it was kind of a missed opportunity. Spock is pretty cool. I really like the Spock. I don't really collect Star Trek anything or really care for it, but Spock is cool. And this pop overall looks pretty nice. Then we have that new Wonder Woman pop, and I don't really know the character either because I'm not huge into Wonder Woman or DC, like I've said a million times. But this pop looks pretty dang sweet. I like the pose. I like how what I would assume is like a whip or a lasso, I guess. I like how that looks. Overall, this pop looks cool, and I wouldn't be surprised if this sold pretty decently. Then the Tearnet Ninja. This is pretty cool. I mean, it's an interesting looking pop. We don't really see stuff like this. It kind of reminds me of what was it called? Tokidoki? Is that what the new set was called?
Yeah, like the little animals or whatever. I don't know what they are. They
Yeah, yeah.
most of them are animals or something, and they add some sort of design to it.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. This pop kind of gives me those vibes a little bit. And overall, I like the pop. And I think it's great that essentially Denmark is getting their kind of own exclusive. I think that makes sense. Let's include more people in the world into the collecting of Funko because obviously we love to do it. And then we have the new Blacklight Marvel Pops, and these are fire. I love the Blacklight, and these are no exception to that. These are all pretty great in their own ways. So I'll start off with the Hulk, which is just so cool. When the first Hulk came out, it's like, okay, this is awesome. It's OG Hulk. But there's something about this Hulk, and I guess it's maybe because you get to add more colors with the armor. This is sweet. I mean, you have the pink, blue, purple, green, black, yellow, and orange. A lot of different colors in there. And right now, I'm not going to lie, I am struggling hard with the Marvel Blacklight. It has been a journey, to say the least. I have two of the pops. At least they're two decent ones that I really enjoy, Spider-Man and Gambit. But it's been really hard for me, and I just need to start getting them right away as soon as they come out. And I think that's what I'm going to have to do with this Hulk, because this thing is sweet. Then the Captain Marvel. It's pretty decent. There's a lot of different colors going on there. I don't know what it is about it. I think there's just too much detail in the pop to make it a really good looking blacklight pop, in my opinion, but I think it's going to look sweet. And obviously, I'm going to add this to my collection. Thanos is pretty cool. This is a good example of there's just enough detail where it doesn't look overpowered. There's some big blocks of color, which I think is perfect for the blacklight pops. I think the choice of colors was done really well for this pop. Ant-Man's pretty sweet. I like how the body and the head are so different in color ways. I mean, obviously the head, you have the purple and the blue, and I guess a little bit of pink, which kind of overpower that. And then the body with the yellow and the oranges with a little bit of accents of other colors. Just this looks cool. And then the Black Panther, this is decent. It doesn't scream blacklight to me, but I think it will look pretty decent because of most of the pop being black. Those yellows and purples will pop out pretty well. But I kind of wish they would have went with more of a colorway like you see on the t-shirt, where kind of half of the side, like where the ears are, is pink on one side and then blue on the other side, maybe with a little bit of blue accents and pink accents around each eye. I think that would have made this pop, I guess, pop out a little bit more when it's under blacklight.
So the next section of Funko Pops were all announced on Friday, August 20th, which is actually yesterday as we are recording this, because we're actually recording this on a Saturday, surprisingly. So kicking off, we got ourselves a huge set of pops for the upcoming Marvel movie Eternals, which, get ready, guys, for a huge botch fest of names here as I try to pronounce them. So we got common pops of Sprite, Ajax, Druig, Kingo, Dane Whitman, Fastos, Icarus, Cersei, Makari, Thena, and Gilgamesh with a 1-in-6 glow-in-the-dark chase, Crow, and a 10-inch Areshem. And then we got ourselves exclusive pops of essentially all of those 4-inch variants of pops that I just mentioned as commons, but coming with collectible cards that will be exclusive to Entertainment Earth. Then we got casual Cersei going to Target, Crow on all fours going to GameStop in both Canada and the US, a metallic Fastos going to FYE, Athena with 2 swords that will be going to Walmart, a casual Icarus, which will be going to Funko Shop, and we got a translucent Sprite, which will be going to Books A Million, and these are expected to release as early as October 2021. Funko had announced more pops for the Star Wars Across the Galaxy set that will be Amazon exclusive, which we have 2 pops representing Endor, which we got ourselves a new variant of Wicket, which will be a pop and pin. And then we have a Force Ghost 3-pack that features Anakin Skywalker, Yoda, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. At least one of these are still available for pre-order because the Force Ghost is sold out, but these are expected to release as early as October 2021. And then Funko had confirmed on the Funko app of at least some of the items that were featured in this year's box of fun, which we have ourselves first Torchy, which was featured in every box. It was kind of the mystery pop we were talking about a couple podcasts ago when we talked about the mascots. Then we got ourselves Freddy Funko as HR Puffin Stuff, one being a normal variant, and then a slightly more limited piece that was a metallic version. Freddy Funko as Marty McFly, Freddy Funko as Teen Wolf, Olympiad Freddy, Bronze Medal Freddy, Silver Medal Freddy, Judo Freddy Funko, Ping Pong Freddy Funko, and then a glow-in-the-dark Freddy Funko as Skull Trooper, which, of course, these aren't available now. If they are available now, they are available on eBay for a ridiculously high price. So kicking off with the Eternals pops, which I have not seen the trailer yet. These are all pretty decent. I don't know any of the characters, obviously. I don't know any background on Eternals as turns to the comic books, but some of these are pretty cool. And I like some of the ones that have like the golden eyes that are kind of a little bit metallic-y from what the glam shots are showing. Those are pretty decent. And then, of course, I'm not surprised that Funko decided to go the route they did with Avengers Endgame 2 years ago and make a bunch of commons and then put some different cards that you can get as a money grab as an Entertainment Earth exclusive. I feel like this would tick off a lot of fans to the sense of either you might as well just get the Entertainment Earth exclusives and it comes with something, or you just skip out on those and get the commons because do you really need the cards? Because if you think about it, if you're trying to get a full set, and let's say you're trying to get all the cards too, you have to get more than just one of each of the characters realistically to get your chance at those cards instead of, maybe buying the cards off of eBay for a ridiculous price, which I hate when they do that. The exclusives are pretty decent. I like the exclusives. Then we got the Star Wars pops, which we have Wicket with the pin. I think that pin is pretty sweet. I do kind of like the idea of the pop and pins, and especially by changing the base to go with the environment of where they are as terms to the planet that they are from. And that Wicket's pretty cool. But what's even more wicked is that Force Ghost 3-pack. To think that we've had Star Wars pops for so many years and realizing now, like, wow, surprisingly, Funko has not made these into a 3-pack, which is pretty crazy because you would have thought they would have made the 3-pack, maybe even when they made the Return of the Jedi set a few years ago. But these are really cool. And these also glow in the dark, I'm pretty sure, even though it's not listed like that. But I've seen photos because people have had their hands on these on the secondary market from different retailers with the special edition sticker. And I think the glow is going to be pretty decent if you can charge it up really nicely. And I haven't really looked at the hype all that much, but I can only assume that there will be bad hype as terms to the Anakin Skywalker because of that controversy of so many years ago where when they did the remaster of Return of the Jedi and they replaced the original actor who did Anakin Skywalker for that scene with Hayden Christensen. So I can see some people not liking that Anakin Skywalker for that case, but that's how we've been getting the Anakin Skywalker pops is Hayden Christensen. Then we have the box of fun pops, which finally we're able to talk about them. Essentially, not all of them, because there were some that people got that Funko didn't confirm yet on the Funko app, like Freddy Funko as Jollibee was one of them. And there's also some pops that were mentioned here, but they have different variants. Like I think Teen Wolf also has a flocked variant with a more limited piece, but that wasn't announced. But Torchy is pretty decent. He seems like, of course, a fantastic plastic character that goes along with this set of pops. The Freddy Funko's HR Puff and stuff is pretty cool, honestly. I like when Funko does the Freddy Funkos that aren't like, hey, let's take the body of an already existing character and then slap a normal Freddy Funko head to that character. But this, you have the different hair, well, not the different hair color. It's always been kind of like that orangey red color, but you change the skin color, you make it look like it is the character. And I'm curious to know what the metallic one looks like in person. I feel like the green looks a little bit dark in person. Freddy Funko's Marty McFly is once again actually an example of what I just mentioned about what I hate about Freddy Funko Pops is adding normal Freddy Funko head and just putting it in an already existing body. Teen Wolf Freddy Funko. This is cool. This once again is an example of what I like about Freddy Funkos. And I bet the flocked version that I mentioned about that wasn't officially confirmed yet as we were doing this podcast is pretty decent. Then we got essentially the 3 different Olympiad versions, even though they're not all called Olympiad, but the normal Olympiad version of Freddy Funko is pretty decent. The bronze medal and the silver medal version are okay. They're not the greatest. It's like a chrome color. Judo Freddy Funko, it's okay. And ping pong is decent also. It's got the Funko 2021 logo. And essentially, they took the body from the Forrest Gump ping pong Target exclusive and then just made it as a Freddy Funko. And we got the Skull Trooper from Fortnite as Freddy Funko, or Freddy Funko as Skull Trooper. This is okay.
Okay, so we have the Marvel Eternals pops, and honestly, I don't have a whole lot to say about these pops. I think overall they're pretty cool looking. I mean, there's some decent looking pops. But I'm going to talk about something else, and that's the cards. It's a cool idea in theory, but like DK had said, it doesn't make sense when you're trying to collect, let's say, all of the cards. And I think that there's a way around this. And I think that's if Funko just made packs of cards. And I'm not talking about like, okay, you go to the store and you're getting a pack of Marvel Eternal Funko Pop cards. I'm talking like with a bunch of licensings in the same wave where you can get, let's say, a WWE card or The Office or DC or any property really. I think that would be really awesome. And there's so many things I could talk about this. I have such good ideas for this, but maybe we'll save that for a separate video that I can do on the channel talking about what I think Funko should do with essentially Funko Pop cards, because I think it would just be the coolest idea. But I think people would be more inclined to buy packs of cards rather than buying a bunch of pops to try and get a card. The Wicket, we have seen Wicket before a couple of times now, and this one's all right. I think the best part about this is your underrated pun there when you're talking about how wicked this 3-pack is. Geez, this 3-pack is awesome. I like that they went with that version of Anakin. It makes sense to me. I mean, I always thought that having Hayden Christensen was the better idea rather than the original actor, just because, I mean, he's a Force ghost. And I guess in the original, what they're trying to get at is what Anakin would have looked like if he never had been burned or whatnot and wasn't Darth Vader. But at the same time, he's dead. And I feel like you don't really age when you're dead. I mean, I'm not huge into religion, but I feel like that's something that is probably true. You probably stay your age that you died at, or like the age that you were the happiest or something. I don't know. I'm not going to get into a whole religious rant, but I do think that this version of Anakin is the best way to go. This 3-pack is awesome. The glow from what I've seen looks really cool. And I don't normally say this about Star Wars pops because I collect a lot of other Star Wars stuff and not really Funko too much, but this is something that I just need. I loved this scene. It was so great at the end of Return of the Jedi, which is my favorite Star Wars movie, kind of wrapping it all up and showing, like, obviously 3 of the best characters in Star Wars. And I remember watching it for the first time and I cried. I cry a lot when I watch Star Wars. I'm a grown ass man, and I'll admit that. I cry when I watch Star Wars. It's good. Then we have Torchy. Torchy is cute. I know we don't like saying that about pops too often, but I think there's no reason to not, because he is just really cute. I like this pop. I kind of wish I could have got my hands on this because it's just something that's neat. Freddy Funko as HR Puff and stuff. This is really cool. This is something I didn't expect, and I'm glad that we got it, even though only a few of us really did technically, and not me, obviously, but I wish I did. This is really nice. The metallic one is pretty cool as well. I'd have to see it in person to see exactly what it looks like you said. Freddy as Marty, really cool. I really like this. I think sometimes just the head swap is enough for Freddy Funkos to be really awesome. I mean, there's not a whole lot that they could have done besides that with making Marty into Freddy Funko or Freddy Funko into Marty, I guess you could say. So I really enjoy this pop. Freddy as Teen Wolf. This is pretty cool. Interesting. I like the head sculpt. It makes sense with the mouth and kind of the, I guess, wolf beard, I guess I'll call it. I think they did a really good job on this pop. Then we have Freddy as the Olympiad, and this is cool. I mean, it kind of fits the theme, and I don't know. I maybe would have been a little bit disappointed if I would have got like any of the 3 Olympiad pops in my box of fun if I were to get one. The common one, which I'd assume is the most common, is the best one with all the colors. And then the other 2, like if I would have pulled that in my box of fun, I would have been so disappointed. I know you get 3 pops, but if one, like, I don't know, it's just the pop, those pops aren't that great in my opinion. The Judo Freddy, this is neat. I like this. He looks kind of tall for some reason. Maybe it's just the way the stance is, but it's definitely a decent Freddy. And then, yes, I was wondering with the ping pong Freddy if that was just the exact same body from the Forrest Gump. And you answered that question for me. And it makes sense. Why not do that? And it's not really, I don't believe they branded it as Forrest Gump, obviously. So that was neat. A smart move on Funko. And then the Freddy as Skull Trooper. This is pretty cool. I like this pop. And obviously, if you guys haven't heard, this thing has actually sold on eBay for some ridiculous prices. I believe one of the highest prices that there's a sold listing for on eBay for this pop was like 10 grand, which is just unreal.
Are you looking for great pop protectors? Then look no further than popbox.ca. They have a variety of 4-inch and 6-inch protectors in different quantities. Do you want to get 10 protectors, 20? You can get even up to 250 pop protectors over on popbox.ca. And also use our promo code of Funko Popcast for 10% off of your entire purchase of pop protectors. The code is going on until supplies last. So go get your pop protector needs now over on popbox.ca using our code of Funko Popcast to get 10% off and also free shipping over $75 in both Canada and the US with duty fees included.
And let me tell you guys, we're not just screwing around here. These are some great pop protectors. We own a multitude of these protectors. They are some of the best I've seen. Stop buying from EB Games. I'm not boycotting EB Games by any means, but their pop protectors are not as good. So again, use code Funko Popcast for 10% off.
All right, so before we move on to the top 10 list, we actually have a segment that we do quarterly called Pop Tistics, which we were supposed to do it last month, but there's just so many pops in July. So now I'm going to kick off with these Pop Tistics quickly before we move on to our top 10 list, which those brand new to the podcast. Pop Tistics is essentially statistics going into the top 10 list or just knowing what to expect in our top 10 list. So first off, 63.2% of the time on our top 10 list will be an exclusive pop over a common. 60.6% of the time, pops will be different between mine and MD Shady's list. Out of the combined total of 620 pops altogether from all of our previous top 10 lists in a Funko Podcast history, 106 of them have been convention exclusives, while the second most goes to the Funko Shop with 51. 468 pops have been your regular 3.75 or 4-inch size pops, with the second most being deluxe with 32. 80 of those pops have been from the Pop Television lineup, while the second most goes to Marvel with 74. So now we move on to the top 10 list, which, what a decent month so far. Of course, we got the update next week with pops that could be added. Who knows? But let's kick off with MD Shady with his number 10 pick.
Okay, so coming in at number 10, I have Aaron from The Office. I think it's about time that we've seen an Aaron pop, and I think overall it was a decent scene and body to go with for this pop. It's pretty cool.
Coming in at number 10 on my list, it is the GameStop exclusive War Duke from Dungeons and Dragons. I think this pop looks excellent in terms of the detail. There is a little bit of hype. There wasn't really that many comments as terms of this pop, but I'm loving the Dungeons and Dragons pops and the whole D20 dice gimmick.
Coming in at number 9 on my list, I have the GameStop exclusive War Duke. I mean, you summed it up pretty well there. This is a nice looking pop. The Dungeons and Dragons lineup has been doing really well with their pops. I mean, they're looking great, and this pop is just like that. It looks cool. And obviously, that D20 gimmick where you get the dice just makes so much sense. And Funko didn't have to do it, but they did that. And that's kind of what put that in my top 10 list.
Coming in at number 9 on my list, it is the previews exclusive Japanese series Spider-Man. Now, this is the common pop that I chose because I felt like the glow in the dark pop just wasn't all that special in my opinion. I mean, the red will look okay, but I mean, I don't know about the blue, and possibly I don't remember if like that wrist thing had glow in the dark also, but there was a lot of hype as terms to this Spider-Man, which is why it had to make the list. But personally, I'm not really a fan of it, which is why it's low.
Coming in at number 8 on my list, I have Pam Beasley. And this Pam is just so significant. I don't know why they didn't do it with the first one. And now I think they got it right. And I think if you're going to collect a Pam pop, this is the one to get.
Coming in at number 8 on my list, it is none other than Oscar de la Hoya. I'll be honest, the reason I put that on the list is so that I have an opportunity to say Hoya one more time on the podcast before I possibly may never be able to say that again so perfectly with this name. But also, other than that, the detail's pretty awesome. And I love the way they did this boxing pop. I think with the whole jab and everything. It's so cool. And there was definitely a lot of hype when Oscar de la Hoya's Instagram page announced this pop first.
Coming in at number 7, I have the Hot Topic exclusive Bakugo. I think that this pop was done really well and it fixed some problems with the one that we had seen previously. And I mean, it just looks so cool. And it might be one of those pops that starts off my My Hero Academia collection.
Coming in at number 7 on my list is the Box Lunch exclusive glow in the dark Shinra with fire from Fire Force. Fire Force had a lot of hype because it is one of those animes that people like and they didn't get pops yet. And the character is really intriguing. I like the fire base and I can only imagine what it looks like glow in the dark, whether it's just the fire base or maybe even part of the outfit itself that glows in the dark. And if I had to choose one character to get from the Fire Force set, it was this one, which is why I added it to my top 10 list.
Coming in at number 6, I have the movie moments from Wall-E. I knew I had to add some type of Wall-E pop to this list because they all look really cool. But I think that this one is the best one in general for what you're getting out of it. And it's a cool movie moment. It looks really nice and it's kind of heartfelt, which is awesome.
Coming in at number 6 on my list is the Hot Topic exclusive Kasuke Bakugo. And I think basically you hit the nail on the coffin with the reasons of the fact that they kind of fixed the mistakes that there was for the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And overall, it's a very easily accessible pop compared to the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, especially if you didn't want to pay those ridiculous secondary market prices for the San Diego Comic-Con version. Then you can get this version going to Hot Topic for a much cheaper price, and especially because Hot Topic is notorious for restocking a lot of stuff.
Moving on to number 5 on my list, I have the Freddy Funko as Marty McFly. I think that just a simple head swap goes a long ways when it comes to Freddy Funko. And obviously, Marty is such a well known character for everyone. And I think this pop looks phenomenal.
All right, so coming in at number 5 on my list, it is the Target exclusive 10-inch Gladiator Hulk Blacklight Pop. I think, in my opinion, this is the best one out of the 5 just because of the way that the colors are executed. And I feel like the colors chosen for Hulk, which of course green had to be one of the colors because that's his skin color, will turn out the best out of all of them, which is why I chose this. Otherwise, it could have been any of the Blacklight Pops, to be honest, that made my top 10 list.
Moving on to number 4, I have Freddy Funko as HR Puff and stuff. And this is the common for now, just because I haven't seen the metallic one. But I think that it looks super awesome. I really enjoy how they changed the colors on the head to make it match HR Puff and stuff really well. And obviously the body is what it is, but I think this is one of the coolest Freddy Funkos that I've seen.
All right, coming in at number 4 now on my list, it is the AAA anime exclusive Flynn Rider from Tangled. Hype is a huge reason why it's even in the top 5 because we have never gotten a Flynn Rider pop until now, and a lot of people have been requesting it. There's been some detail, although there's not really much personal reaction coming from me because I haven't really seen Tangled all that much, but I can appreciate the detail involved with this pop, which is why it made it up on this list.
Coming in at number 3, I have the 10-inch Blacklight Hulk. I already explained myself with this one. it looks so awesome with how many different colors we get to see. This pop's going to look awesome. I need to get my hands on it. And for that reason, it had to be high up on my list.
Coming in at number 3 on my list is the Amazon exclusive Force Ghost 3-pack, or you can say Anakin Skywalker, Yoda, Obi-Wan Kenobi 3-pack. This is excellent. It's long overdue that we even got Force Ghost pops, especially in a 3-pack. And this is excellent. And I'm sure a lot of Star Wars collectors, even if you don't collect many Star Wars pops, you're going to want to get this because this was such a memorable moment in Return of the Jedi, at the end of Return of the Jedi, more specifically. So it's got to be one of those must-haves for all Star Wars collectors.
Coming in at number 2, I have the Hot Topic exclusive General Grievous. This pop is sexy. That's the best way to put it. This thing looks so cool. And I'm glad that we're finally getting a Grievous that has 4 arms rather than 2. And it's easily accessible for us, which is awesome.
Coming at number 2 on my list is also the Hot Topic exclusive General Grievous from Star Wars. I don't even know if I should explain myself because, once again, MD pretty much hit the nail in the coffin. This pop is great looking. We finally have a General Grievous with 4 arms and not 2, and they even add more of like a scuffing, dirty detail and not so clean like the other General Grievous pop that we got. And once again, Hot Topic, more accessible than essentially, I guess, Walgreens, which is where the original one was at.
And finally, number 1 on my list, I have the Amazon exclusive Force Ghost 3-pack. Like I said earlier, this is just such a great moment in Star Wars when essentially we all had thought that the series was wrapped up and such a happy ending. And like I said, it made me cry. And if something makes me cry, I feel like I have to have some sort of love for it. And obviously, I do have a huge love for Star Wars. And this 3-pack is just amazing. I need to get my hands on it.
Coming in at number 1 on my list is the Wally with the fire extinguisher from the Wally lineup. I knew I had to add a Wally pop because this was definitely, like, as terms to a wave of pops, the most hyped set of pops throughout the month so far, at least, of August, because of course we still have pretty much a full week and a half to go of August as of recording this. And I felt like the Wally with fire extinguisher was like more talked about than a lot of the pops. I was thinking about adding General Grievous to that number 1 spot, but at the same time, it was Hot Topic who announced it, and there was no like list to go through of people commenting on what they think about this pop. But I can only assume that the hype was huge. But anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this week's podcast, make sure you smash that like button, comment in the comment section below, and let us know what your favorite pops were from the month of August 2021 so far. Press the subscribe button for more content like this podcast and any other videos we do on this channel in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. And if you guys haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at a Funko Popcast. It'll be listed in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you for listening to this week's podcast, and we hope to see you guys next week on a Funko Popcast. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Oscar Della. Hi. I had to do it. Peace in, peace out.